Hi everyone, I'm Anna Burgoyne.
And I'm,
Nope.
oh, no. Yeah,
There we go,
there
that's
yeah.
right. Okay.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Anna Burgoyne.
And I'm her twin brother, Will.
You may have seen us up at the altar during services as acolytes, or playing with your kids at Vacation Bible School.
Or maybe you've seen me drumming with the Saints of Sound at outdoor services, or helping out at church workdays.
In many ways, being involved at All Saints has led us to really know and love our church and community, and beyond that, has helped us to grow into who we are today.
One of the first steps we took towards becoming part of the All Saints family was our involvement in the Acolyte program. Both Anna and I were at first a little unsure about the commitment of being an acolyte, but a little push from our mother put us on a path to becoming honor acolytes and finding new ways to connect with people of All Saints. At first, being so close to the altar instead of out in the pews was a little strange and unfamiliar.
It was a bit daunting taking on all the information of where the different chalices went and which candles to light, but over some time we got the hang of it. We started out carrying the upper and lower flags and soon gained more experience, understanding the respect and order that comes with handling the bread, wine, and other responsibilities. It was gratifying to become so familiar with the intricacies and ceremony of our services. Not only learning the etiquette helped us better understand the tradition of our church, but the routine of helping during communion in itself felt natural and therapeutic and brought us closer to our faith. Another big moment that helped us to understand our faith was our mission trip. We packed into the new All Saints bus with the other church youths and chaperones, setting off to Charleston, West Virginia. This was a very new experience for both me and Will. Though we had been far away from home before, we understood from hearing other experiences that going on a mission trip is a special event that can change your perspective of life.
Meeting and helping the citizens of the city of Charleston showed us that communities could be so different just across state borders. It was not only the citizens of Charleston that helped us see a different way of life, but also the leaders of the Youth Works program and people from a church up in Arlington that joined us. Making connections with these people while volunteering to aid disadvantaged children at a summer daycare or helping to organize the local thrift store gave me many new perspectives of life. Working with each fellow volunteer I met gave me a new understanding of what it means to serve. The more we served, the closer I felt I walked towards the life of Jesus as a servant. This experience taught me how to serve in many ways, big or small, by reaching out a helping hand to others every day. Going to All Saints on Sunday mornings was always a nice way to end my week before going back to school the next day. In many ways, church would help prepare me for what was ahead of me in the next 5 days at school. Waking up early on Sundays would help me feel more productive in order to finish up schoolwork due the next day. But what I always felt was most impactful for me was listening and gathering life advice from sermons. Whether it was Brent, Judy, Bill, John, or even my grandfather, hearing a sermon would always help me in some way through the week. I remember one of Brent's sermons that compared the casting of fish nets on the Sea of Galilee to being open and social with others. And it reminded me to seek out new friends and opportunities around school. I can also recall the last sermon my grandfather gave to the congregation of St. James about his friend's journey towards a close relationship with God, and it encouraged me to improve my connection with the Lord. After listening to many sermons over the years at All Saints, I now view the Bible not only as a guide to worshiping and loving God, but also a guide for learning and improving and loving yourself. Even in today's reading from the Epistle of Peter, we are immediately given some great advice on doing what is right. Peter reminds us of the simple yet important idea that there is nothing wrong with trying to do the right thing. And even if we are punished, we are redeemed in the eyes of the Lord. Especially during these times, I ask that you try to listen to some advice from all the sermons.
One memory that stands out to me when I think about my time at All Saints is when I went on a ski trip. It was my first time skiing and my first time going on a trip with my church like this. After leaving on a Friday afternoon after school and driving hours in the church's minibus, we reached Macedon when it was dark outside, and the very first thing we did when we got there was we went tubing. The stadium lights and white snow lit up the night as my brothers and friends slid down icy slopes. It was a special thing to be practically the only group of people tubing at night. The next day, we spent all our time skiing, though it was new and a bit awkward at first to learn. When I finally hit the slopes, it was exhilarating and I had a blast. Not only did I have an incredible time skiing and experiencing these new, special moments, but I felt safe, loved, and cared for when we came to dinner and spent time together, breaking bread under one roof. All of this was a welcome escape from some of the things I was going through before the trip. Despite the comfort and fun of the trip, I still had some stress lingering with me from school. At the time, I felt particularly socially insecure and paranoid in my classes, and the stress of it weighed on me even going into the trip. The second night of the trip, after staying up and chatting with some of the other girls, my anxiety was eating away at me. Maybe it was being away from home, or my situation back home weighing on my mind, but I felt unusually distressed, and when my anxiety reached a certain peak, I decided to reach out to two of the chaperones on the trip and confided in them. Thinking back on the story and the love and trust I felt when I spoke out, I find it incredibly fitting that today's gospel centers around these big themes that we all experience in our lives. Throughout life, there's a truth that each of us carry that we understand intimately, whether we show it or not. This truth that God gives us, that He gave me, is filled with not just love, hope, and deep, unmistakable happiness and passion, but insecurity, anxiety, and darkness. We have this spirit of truth in our lives to guide us as an important tool to reflect on ourselves, our relationship with others, and our relationship with God. On the trip, when I felt anxious and afraid, I reflected on the truth of what I was feeling. What I feel God was telling me is that I needed help and it was okay for me to reach out and trust Him. The spirit of truth that God sends us is here to help us even when our truths may seem tough to resolve or tempting to ignore. But in the end, He invites us to open to Him and to the people we trust so we can be wiser, more honest, and be surrounded by His love. I've always been incredibly thankful for my time at this church because it has given me a caring community of people and a place to reflect on the truth of my feelings and my life. I'll always be thankful for the experiences I've shared and the memories I've made at All Saints. Looking forward, I know that love and support I've felt here and the things I've learned will stick with me and help me as I grow and explore new things in life at VCU Arts and onwards.
And as I continue my education at Virginia Tech next year, I will look back on my time here to guide me through difficult situations and reminisce about the many memories I've made at All Saints. I am truly grateful for the love and strength that you have all provided me with.
So, sincerely from us,
thank you.